Hey all, so I wanted to talk about e-merch or online merch stores. I have a pretty small channel. I've got a pretty small following, but it's growing. So I've got, between Instagram and YouTube, I've got pretty darn close to 3,000 to 4,000 followers, and my presence is up there enough that I figured, oh, why not? So there are a couple options. When you look at e-merch, you've got the traditional method, which I remember the best page in the universe. It was a Maddox site, which is, I don't even know if it's up anymore. Let me look. But anyway, that site, he used to rent out one apartment. He would do his site moderation. It was one guy. And then he would sell all of his merch online. And he would store it all in the second apartment. So he didn't have a house. If he had had a house, it would have been probably a lot cheaper. But, you know, people who are just kind of starting out on their career, getting a big equity investment like a house is something that they're not really interested in doing. But this was back in 2004, 5, 6 time frame, maybe 7. And this was, you know, when you had to print your own shirts, you had to make your own cups, and you had to ship it all and do all the logistics and all of the invoicing and all the payments and all the paperwork, which takes you away from what? Your creative ventures. So nowadays, it's pretty easy to set up a store and just have somebody do all the inventory for you, all the print and sell, all the print and ship, and all of the legwork, which I did with my store. And originally, I tried to set up with the Don, as I like to call Amazon.
You come here unannounced on the day my daughter is to be married.
Well, actually, we were brought here against our will.
Because now, even though Jeff Bezos isn't CEO anymore, they have quite a bit of a culture of control, and I was actually denied my application to Amazon. And in the government, they call it a FOIA request. It's a request for information. Amazon doesn't stand up for any of that stuff. So I had my application denied, and I asked them for a kickback of information saying, why was it denied? And so the response was,
say hello to Grandmama. Isom.
You don't have a right to that information. It's proprietary, and if we share it, it would put us at a competitive risk. And so I thought, that's ridiculous. You know, just tell me what I did wrong so I can reapply. And it gets worse. If you get denied from Amazon, you can't even use the same email. You can't use the same information, the same name, the same tax information, anything. They deny you for life. So I went with a different company, and I got set up, and I don't know if the percentage is different from sales. Honestly, I'm still small. I haven't really seen the figures yet, but I was like, that's ridiculous. So I set up my own store, and I got it set up. The approval process was 2 days, whereas Amazon looked at my package for like a week and a half, and then they were like, oh, you didn't get it, and we're not going to help you, and don't reply to this email. It's another thing I really don't like about the amazing society we live in. You know, we're not in 11th century where we're still running around with axes and getting murdered. We still have our difficulty, which is people not explaining, you know, why applications aren't approved, why people don't get certain things, and why we can't do e-commerce or have a right to e-commerce. My whole point for this video is when you put in an application for Amazon, you need to be very specific. I did a little bit of researching, and I honestly think it was because I got my tax information messed up. I used my name, and I used the Vintage Gamer, which isn't a full company. I don't have tax identification for it yet because it's not big enough, and frankly, it's just tied to my name. So Amazon got confused by this, and they said, guess what? Your application is denied, which is all well and good until you deny the person for life, right? I'm not going to change my whole site email. I'm not going to change my personal name just to get into Amazon merch. So I found another opportunity. So going into Amazon merch and e-commerce and e-online marketplace, which, by the way, MCNs manage, like Screenwave, it really isn't that hard. You just have to set up an alias with a company that does it. And as of 2015, when Amazon eMerch was set up, other companies started to follow suit, and it's actually pretty easy to do. But frankly, I would have appreciated they just told me, this is what you did wrong, blah, 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 blah. So the company that I actually set up with, there was an issue with my tax information, which I think was the same issue I had with Amazon. And guess what they did? They sent me an email. They said, hey, you filled this out incorrectly. Please fix it and send it back so we can pay you. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's how everyone on the planet would want to be treated. Not, you are banned for life. Go die. So yeah, that's kind of what my beef is. Now, Amazon is a go-to for staples such as Amazon, the Amazon app, and I love the service. I found stuff cheaper, but then because, especially with COVID, you get into tax law, international trade, and all that kind of stuff, and it makes it easier to just go to Amazon even if you're paying a 10 or 25 or 30% premium. But it doesn't mean you can't be bullied by such a service. So if you are looking to set up your own merch store, do your research. There's several avenues out there. In fact, the YouTube partnership program has listed merch suppliers if you're interested in doing that. The one I used just happened to be on their list. I didn't even know it. I just looked it up, and you put up your own design, and then they print, ship, and you're good to go. But anyway, please let me know what you think about this. If you have a merch store, if you want to check my merch store out, go ahead. I've got 15% off for new items. And I actually tested it out for a gift for one of my family members. And yeah, 15% works. But if you want a design, if you want a custom design, go ahead and let me know. I can try to design it for you, and you can go ahead and buy it. So just send me an email. But anyway, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And thanks for watching. Take care.